Right, man. That's so dope, man. What has been some of the more influential pieces that you directed? Like, what have been some of the stronger works that you said, like, man, I'm glad I got to stamp my name on that?
Yeah.
Well, I would say, more recently, some of the big titles that I'm proud to be a part of is called The Night. That one was like just out of the gate, just a special show with like so much going on, and like visually it looks amazing, and story-wise it's like it's just insanely good, and it deals a lot with just like reflecting on yourself as a human and what it is to be a human. Of course, there's like a lot of vampires and stuff, but Call of the Night will be one. Your boy Kong Ming is one that's like really great to be a part of.
Yeah,
like, it's covering music industry, but once again, it's about humans, like people. But like, I mean, I can kind of go on and on about different things, but like Saint Seiya, Tsurune, like Shirobako. I would say that Shirobako would holds like a special place because it's an anime about an anime company making anime, and it's like, well, this is kind of like my life right now. So, yeah, but pretty much like I enjoy like just about every show that I work on because there's something special that you can take away from it, and so yeah, each show is an incredible experience.
That's dope.
So what got you inspired to work in the anime industry?
Well, it's kind of wild because like I grew up like I watched a little bit of anime as a kid, and like I remember I was watching, just strolling through the channels, and I saw Ronin Warriors.
Oh man,
and I had no idea what anime was. I was like, what is this? Like the level of detail, and it's like, I'm just sitting there with a Capri Sun just trying to figure out like what. And so so like it was definitely like a draw in, and then like over time like I was like I got into Gundam and stuff, but like as far as like me getting into the industry, it was kind of a weird situation, or just like random, because I went to school for film. I have a bachelor's in fine arts for digital film and video production, and so like I've worked production jobs, like a lot of freelance on different things, different departments, and then I like, I'm from Houston, and I knew that I wanted to stay in Houston for a while, and it's like, well, Houston, the whole industry is like very much corporate, oil and gas and stuff, and they're always looking for an editor. Like editors are like, yeah, everyone needs editors, and so I have the experience, and so I was like, okay, well, I'll just apply for editing jobs because like I want to be in Houston, and so I had some friends that had worked for a company, and they had recommended like, well, I know a place that's looking for editors and stuff, and so I thought, oh, you probably work for oil and gas. It was just like, so I was like, yeah, give him my information, and then I knew an old professor that was doing some freelance work and stuff, and he was like, well, I know a place that's looking for editors. I was like, give him my information. Like, yeah, that's fine. And and that whole time period, I was just like corporate interviews and stuff, which like you run the process and stuff, and then so I get a call, or we get an email, and then I get a call to come in and interview, and so I show up, and I'm ready to answer any of your editing questions needed. And I walk in the building, and there's all these anime posters, and the walls are like painted all these different colors. And from my I was just thinking like somebody like I bet whoever owns this, like, do they just really like anime? Like that's
you didn't think it was an actual anime company.
Yeah, and so and then that was on me, because like I was going in just expecting another oil and gas. And so it was pretty interesting, and then I get brought in to have the interview, and one question after another. I was like, well, I can answer that. Boom, boom. At the very end, I just took a moment. I was like, excuse me, what is this place? Like, what's happening? And I was like, oh, this is an anime company. Like, really? Here, like,
Yeah.
you know, I never would have guessed, and so to me it was like, oh my goodness, like this is great, because like the big thing for me is I love narrative storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is my passion, and so like, when you gotta work, and so like I'm qualified and experienced in like different fields of production, and like you need an editor. I can be an editor, but it's like I would want to work on something that has a narrative,
Proof point.
yeah, and not something that's like just a little bumper or like clips and stuff for like corporate level things. Which that's fine. Like everyone has like their passion and their thing. But for me, it's like I wanted to be involved in something narrative, and to me, it was like that was like a huge blessing, because it's like, well, the thing that I really wanted, like I found, and then when I of course I got the job, and so I had started as an editor, and then I saw like, oh, like we have studios, we have writers, directors, like there's this whole thing, this whole process, and it's like right after I found that, I was like, well, I have demo reels, I've done this, like just not in a studio aspect of like ADR, but it's like, yeah, I've directed, I've written, I've camera operated, like I was like giving them reels of just everything, like like I have the experience here, like how do I move into that area? And so they saw my stuff, and of course like I shadowed, and you go through your own phase of like before they really like throw you in and like, all right, here you go. But that's how I made my way into directing anime, which I started as an editor, but like like I said, as soon as I realized like what all of this was, like I just thought I have the skills, I just I don't know the world of ADR, but there are things that I can carry over into this. Like I can relate on this level, this level. How do I learn just this world? And so that's how I made my way into directing anime. And it's been amazing. Like one of the things, like for me, like some of the other directors that I work with, like everyone has their own background, their own style and stuff, and it's interesting because like for me it's like, well, I'm the guy that came from production life, so it's like, to me, like starting off, the biggest problem for me was like, well, I love breaking down and working with the actors and stuff like that, but like to me the biggest problem was like I have to sit down in a chair, and the actors in the booth, and there's like the wall and like the window, and it's like like I want to stand up and talk to you directly, and so that was like one of the biggest things for me to get over. But as far as like I was trying to find like, well, what's my style in this setting, and it's really like, no, like you have your experience and your background, apply that here, because you're bringing your own thing to the table. Don't try to be like anyone else, or like try to adapt in the sense of like, well, I need to change my style because this is a different setting. Like, no, just in general with life, you learn and pick up different things, and that shapes who you are and stuff. So bring yourself to the table as well. I'm like, I'm gonna be me. New field. I'm of course learning, but throw yourself in there too. So that's but that is how I got in anime, and I was just as surprised, like, really, here? Like,